All right.
Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence with Just Dance Podcast Live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. And you know how I am when I have guests to entertain you with, which makes me excited. Okay, so let me tell you why I'm excited. Because this gentleman is a returning guest, and he always has a wealth of resource and information that you all can use rather. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the response, the calls, the emails, and the ideas of some of the subjects that you want to hear about. So today is a very, very important subject that you want to hear about, which is, foreclosures, tax information, exemption, things of that nature that goes on that you keep trying to figure out how to do it yourself and you can't. So what I did was I asked the treasurer himself, the Wayne County treasurer, Mr. Eric Sabree, to join us. So without further ado, let's see Mr. Sabree. Good afternoon, Treasurer Sabree.
Good afternoon, Marsha. Thank you for inviting me again to the show. And I want to thank you for all the good information that you're sending out to the community.
Well, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, you know what? I was excited to talk about you because you know what? A lot of people are always at the end of the year, especially get nervous about their taxes and nervous about, utility bills. Everything just seems like it breaks down. They don't say nothing all summer long. But by the time the fall and winter come, it's a fluctuation of concerns and mayhem about what I'm going to do. So today I wanted to ask you a few questions about, some of the services that you guys are providing and to help
Sure.
people save their homes. That's what this is all about.
That's right. We have, this time of year, you mentioned this is an important time of year. It is because as we go through the foreclosure cycle, this is the cycle every 3 years that if you don't pay your taxes, you could lose your property. So we notify anyone who's in danger of their property being foreclosed this time of year. We just started doing our what we call personal visits. When we notify people in 4 different ways: certified mail, first class mail. We do a publication first week of December, and then we do a personal visit. So the personal visit is we actually have contractors that go out to the properties and put these yellow bags with information inside, tape them to the doors of the properties or on the fences if it's a vacant lot or a business. And this is letting people know that there's help available in the treasurer's office to avoid property tax foreclosure. So right now, anyone that owes property taxes 2022 and prior, and you haven't been paid, and you're not in a payment agreement, you're in danger of property tax foreclosure. So we're notifying people. But there's an opportunity for taxpayers to come in, get into a payment agreement with us. And also, if you're very low income, you can apply for what we call an exemption. It's an exemption from property taxes. So that has to be applied for at your local assessor's office. Whatever community you're in, go to the assessor's office. If you're low income, you want to make sure, don't figure it out on your own. Go and apply for an exemption. If you're low income, you can be exempt from property taxes.
Now, you
There
know
are only
what?
two.
I mean,
Yeah.
but Treasurer Sabree, a lot of people for years have always ran from the assessor or the exemption because they don't know. And I had the pleasure of interviewing Willie Downwell, and he gave us the board of directors. So he gave us the insight on the various levels of the people can qualify for 100% exemption, 50%, 75%, 25%. I mean, people just don't understand that. First of all, just do the paperwork first and get it in there and just see. But if you live on fear, which we all do, live on some type of fear, they feel as though, oh no, I'm not going to get that. But the clarity of it was, if you've been in this house for more than 30 or 40 years and your income level is stabilized, it hasn't changed much, that should have been, insight right there to tell you that you probably are eligible for a tax exemption or decrease in your taxes. Period.
That's true. So many people are very, very proud, and they don't want to ask for help. So many people are used to being able to take care of all of their affairs, and they've come upon hard times, and things have changed. Maybe their health issues or uh, family situations have changed. So now they need help. So we're saying don't be too proud to ask for help. Don't wait until it's too late to ask for help.
You're right.
Because here's the interesting thing about the exemptions. If you become exempt from property taxes, and there are only two individuals that can be exempt from property tax. One is the very low income, and the other are 100% disabled veterans. You're 100%. If you have 100% disability, you should apply for a property tax exemption because the state law allows you to get exempt from property taxes based on your disability. It has to be 100%. The other low income. So what we tell people, if you become exempt from property taxes and you live in Wayne County, then you can be eligible for a program called Pay As You Stay, which means that going forward, you won't have to pay property taxes because you're now exempt. But if you have delinquent taxes already, some of those taxes can be extinguished by this program.
Okay.
There are 18 communities in Wayne County that participate in it. So Detroit, of course, is one of them. It's the largest community. But
I
we
know.
have
I think I have a flyer here. Let me see. So you got this payment plan are now online and available. So that's
right, you can get into a payment agreement online, and then those payment agreements are available to anyone, homeowners who live in the home, or homeowners who rent their home. But there's an interest rate is different. If you live in the home that you own, you get into a payment agreement, your interest rate is only 6% per year. If you're a landlord or business owner, that payment plan, your interest rate is 18% per year. So there's a difference, and it makes a difference. That interest rate is 12% difference. So
Now I see that you have, hardship extension, community partners assistance, tax exemption programs, financial empowerment centers, and how to enroll online and payment plan. So let me ask you this: so are a lot of people, the community partners? Tell us a little more about the community partners. Are they the agencies that people can go to and say, "Hey, you can, we'll help you process your paperwork"?
yes, we have
Okay.
several community partners. We have Wayne Metro. We have also the United Community Housing Coalition, the Homeless Action Network of Detroit. We also refer people who need probate assistance. If you're living in a home of a deceased family member, you're not the owner. Now that property now is in the estate of whoever passed away. So if you haven't filed a probate, you don't have a probate estate, you haven't filed a probate case, that means that you're not able to take advantage of some of the programs, which require you to be the owner as well as the occupant. And that also includes things that we're not involved with, but are very important: home repairs. You
Okay.
can't get in the home repair program if you're not the owner. So we refer a lot of people to the Michigan Legal Services, Make Sure Legal, United Community Housing Coalition, to help them with free legal services to get through the probate process. And that's a big issue usually in our office.
That's
People
great. That's
living in
great.
homes that they don't own, their
Right.
family members own.
That's great. Now I got a big one here. So what is the retroactive claim process?
Okay, let me explain what happens. In 2020, I'm sorry, Supreme Court of Michigan made a ruling, said if you lose your property to foreclosure and the treasurer's office sells your property, then you are entitled to what they call excess or surplus proceeds. And that's anything above the taxes that are owed, the expenses of the auction, and a 5% commission, which this legislature gave to the treasurers on the sale price. So anything over and above that, the person who lost the property can file a claim for those excess proceeds. So, for instance, if you owe $10,000 in back taxes and you lost your property foreclosure, the treasurer's office sold it for $50,000. So you got this difference is $40,000. When you take off the commission and a few $1,000s for the expenses, you're entitled to probably a little more than 35,000 or around $35,000. So how do you get that money? You have to file a claim. It has to be done by July 1st. Now that is what they call the current claims process. But the retroactive claims process is going back. Supreme
Correct.
Court recently made another decision and said, not only do you have to pay people currently each year, but we want to go back 6 years, 2015 through 20.
Okay.
Anyone who lost their property during that time can apply for proceeds. If we sold it for more money than I just mentioned, the expenses and commission, if we sold it for more than that, that person is entitled to the money, the difference. So they have to file a claims form, which is on our website, treasurer.washingtoncounty.com. It's on our website. Get the claims form and file it by March 31st of 2025. That's what
Okay.
this court laid out the process.
Let me
Yeah.
stop you right there, because I'm
Okay.
glad you mentioned this program. But how, or besides us, I know it's got to be a lot of social media out there that knows about this, because I'm surprised, and I'm going to tell people, you got to watch this show, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of you have lost the family homes and could have saved it but didn't, or whatever have you, and you may be eligible for some type of, like you said, retroactive funds. So what are some of the outlets or places people can go and get this application if they can't get online?
Well, they have to get it online either from our office or from the
Okay.
state treasurer's office. And we also have a claims administrator that we're hiring that is going to help us even do more. We sent out 28,000 postcards to all interested parties, because anyone who is an interested party can file a claim. For instance, if you were a mortgage company, you had a mortgage, or you did some repairs on the house and didn't get paid, you have a claim, you have an interest, and we've notified you for the foreclosure process, throughout the process, then we also notifying these same entities by postcard. We're going to do more media and outlets to reach people, to let them know.
Okay.
Our claims administrator will be doing the same thing, do
Okay.
everything we can to get as many people involved so they can file their claims and not lose out on the money that they take advantage of. It's their
Well,
money.
let me ask you this. So when this show airs, will you let me know if a lot of people respond? Because we're gonna get the word out effective immediately. So I just look at it like, wow, that is major. That is a major milestone for people to know that, because people get upset. I lost my mom's home, because we couldn't pay the back taxes, blah blah blah, after we did all these repairs and stuff, and they
Right.
drive past the house every day practically with tears in their eyes. But this particular program here, the retroactive claim process, is a good one. It's a real good one. But it only has from now to when
March
is it?
31st. March 31st
March.
is the deadline for claims to be filed. So we started this claims process October 1st, and
Okay.
six-month period. And we're trying to get as many people as we can to take advantage of it. Some people hiring attorneys to do it for them, which is okay with, they have a choice to do that. Others are doing it on their own. So it's not a complicated process, but people may need help. So there's agencies that also have been helping, such as Wayne Metro, Detroit organization, the DABO, Detroit Association of Black Organizations. They've been helping people fill out the forms and turn them in. So there are other agencies that want to help people.
Okay.
They need help. So we
Wonderful,
can.
wonderful, wonderful. Now that's some good news right there. That's very good news right there. Now I'm going to ask you some more questions, but I want to skip over to your upcoming event. So I always want to make sure that everyone who's aware of veteran resources get a chance to be prepared for this upcoming event that you have on November 21st, 2024. From 10 a.m. to 2 at the Crystal Gardens on 4th Street. So it's getting bigger and bigger. I noticed that.
Yeah. Every
Okay.
year, it's our 8th annual. We have great speakers, and we also last year we had over 70 vendors to offer services for veterans. It's really good for veterans to come out, family members, spouses who come out and take advantage. We have also a Veterans Affairs department in Wayne County, which offers number of services beyond what we do. We offer veterans something. It's basically you can get into a payment plan without a down payment. That's what we do for
That's great.
veterans and also for first responders and healthcare workers. If you come
Okay.
in with ID or showing that you're a healthcare worker or a first responder, or you have your DD 214 that you retired from the military, that you can get into a payment agreement with no money down. And it doesn't matter when, you can come in March 29th if you have to. It's the last minute. You can still get in a payment plan with no money down. But we don't encourage people to wait till the last minute.
Right. Right.
And now it's early. Come in now, get into a payment agreement, find out what you can do per month. And if you're a veteran, you don't have to put any money down. You just get into an agreement, start paying the next month. So
Okay.
that's what we've been doing for the last 6 years with veterans, and then we added the healthcare workers and first responders. COVID, want to let them know we appreciate what they do, and recognize them as well. So
And that's great.
that's,
That's
that's
great.
what we've been able to do. We have this Veterans Resource Fair is really good. This year we have a speaker. He's from Detroit, actually. He's a retired Navy SEAL, retired U.S.
Let me bring up Mr. Ridgway's bio here. I didn't want to read it, but Mark Ridgway. So tell us a little bit about Mr. Ridgway.
Ridgway left. He used to help his father in the construction business in Detroit, and he left school. He dropped out of school at 17 to join the Marine Corps, and went to the Marine Corps, stayed there, then left the Marine Corps, and went to trial for the Navy SEAL. Now he at the time he took a year just to learn how to swim. He didn't even know how to swim. Listen to this. He didn't even know how to swim. Then he learned how to swim and went into the Navy SEAL program and made it through the program, became a Navy SEAL. And I think was a Navy SEAL for like 17 years, and then became the instructor, one of the instructors at the Navy SEAL, the academy, for Navy SEALs. He's been all over the world, been deployed, many times, Afghanistan, Iraq, other places. And, I was just listening to him explain to me the training that they do. I was just getting tired just listening to him talk about it.
Well, you know what? I've read his bio, and it sounds really, really. I mean, it's just an honor to read it and see that he spent 27 years in the U.S. Navy and SEAL team, leading elements in combat zones around the globe, and continued to serve as a DoD consultant. I don't know what DoD is, but what's
Department of
DoD?
Defense. Department
Okay.
of Defense. Yeah.
Okay. So Mark is now a retired U.S. Navy SEAL Chief Petty Officer. That job just knowing that he has ventured all around the world and seen things and done things, that's impressive in itself.
Oh
He
yeah.
has a story to tell. So I'm sure being a keynote speaker is an honor for him as well.
Not only that, but on Thanksgiving Day, he's going to be honored by the Lions as the hometown hero at the game,
Really?
at the
Okay.
Thanksgiving game. Yeah, the
Okay.
Thanksgiving. So
All right.
I don't
Well,
know.
so
I don't know if I should said that, but that he's gonna be the honoree at the.
that's okay. That's okay. We're looking forward to it. Okay, so he'll be there. But
And
and
he's
I'm looking
really
forward to attending the fair, your next event, your health fair, so that I can see Veterans Resource Fair, so I can actually sit in on him speaking. So I'll be glad to sit and hear him speak about his world travel and his history. That's great,
yeah,
and
yeah
hopefully he'll be an inspiration to the next generation of
oh,
young, interested
oh,
men and women who want to go into the service.
and he told me that one of the I don't remember his name, but the one of his mentors is one of the master divers in the Navy, and the movie that I don't know if you saw the movie Men of Honor,
Of
Cuba
course,
Gooding.
I was just talking about that earlier with Cuba Gooden.
Yeah, Cuba Gooding. He said that an African American from Detroit who's like one of the top master divers in the Navy right now, or he just retired. He was his mentor
A
in the
lot of
Navy.
people need to see that movie. It's a very emotional movie, but it's a good movie. It's a great movie to see, and I think Cuba Gooding Jr. did an excellent, portrayal of the true person. And then at the end, they actually show the true person too. So I would
Yeah,
encourage anybody to see that movie.
he was telling this person that that was his mentor is one of those people. One of those people, just like the master diver portrayed in that movie. And these
Okay.
people go down in the bottom of the ocean and retrieve airplanes and missiles and things that nobody else would do. They do a
Wow.
lot. They do a
Wow.
lot of things. So I said, well, he's jumping out of airplanes in the middle of the night in the ocean is not something that everybody does.
You got that right. I mean, I'm impressed just in alone in reading his bio of
Yeah.
what he may have encountered in all his travels and stuff. So that's why I said I can't wait to hear him speak. Now let me ask you this. So also, is there any particular, you know what? Now we're working on something coming up for the women veterans. We like to do a little give back, and so we'll talk about that. But is there anything in particular, Treasurer Sabree, that people should know about in reference to the servicemen and women who are applying for support or benefits of any kind?
Well, just to know that the agencies are available, waiting for them to come in and apply. The Wayne County Veterans Agency is in the same building we're in, 400 Monroe,
Yeah.
and they're in the same building. They're on the fourth floor. We're on the fifth floor. So they help the veterans buy groceries if they need it. They help veterans with the ramps for wheelchairs. They help them pay their car note. They help them get jobs. They do a lot of things far beyond what we do. So I think take advantage of these departments. The agencies are there to help, and that a lot of times people at to come out of service don't ask for help because they
Right.
feel like they can handle the issues on their own. And we had in 2019, one of our speakers, our keynote speaker, was Sergeant Major Ronald Green. He was Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps at the time, and he was about to retire. And he came and spoke, and he spent a couple of days here with us, visiting all the veterans facilities. Went to the Veterans Hospital, went to their talent show, went to a couple of high schools and spoke to the young people. And he said that it's really unreasonable to expect anyone that comes out of service, especially those who've been in combat, to come back to society without some serious assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the things that he was working on, is helping veterans make that adjustment back into society. And
Okay.
so it's unreasonable to expect. And a lot of veterans think that they can handle everything on their own, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't ask for help. But he was just saying that it's really a mandatory
Right.
thing that you really have to
Right.
do, because
Right.
it's just not normal to do everything that you're doing when you're in the combat, and then you come back to the society, and everybody expects you to be normal without any adjustment period,
Mm-hmm.
any
Mm-hmm.
adjustments, and that's not fair. We have to be more serious about taking care of our veterans and realizing that they need assistance when they come home.
And that's true. That is so true. And by the fact that you guys have your yearly event, and this is number 8.
This is number 8. It's eight,
Okay.
eight.
Okay. So by you guys having your your event the way you do with over 70 plus vendors, that should tell people that everyone who's involved is committed to supporting our servicemen and women and their families. And so we want to encourage servicemen and women to come out and get these resources and learn more about what's available in our state. And even if you're not in our state, find out when you go to the next state, wherever you're going to live, do they offer these same services or similar services? And that's an honor in itself.
Oh yeah, I love doing this. We usually have between 350, 400 people come out the last few years. Even when we were doing on the virtual ones during COVID, a couple of years we had to do virtual. We had a lot of people participating. We used to get messages from our Congress delegation in Michigan, some of our state legislators. They'll send
Mm-hmm.
videos if they don't when they come in person. We always take time to let them speak, and we want veterans to know that we're not just here to congratulate them for what they did. We want to be able to offer them some services, offer them some real help. So that's important. Come out, take advantage of the services, and it's a good event. I love doing it, and I tell you what, we had we have veterans. They're so thankful to us, but we really are the ones who really should be thankful to them. They're the ones, they're thanking us all the time. Oh, thank you for this, thank you for that. And we say, no, don't thank us, we're thanking you. Because less than 1% of the population actually puts on a uniform, takes the oath to defend this country. And that's something to be thankful for.
Well, as they have you as one of the many spokespersons leading the way, people will get the message. They'll get the message. And we're all for our servicemen and women receiving support. And, we don't want to call it the word help. We want to call it the word support. And so, with that being said, if it's support that a person needs, then your office and many of the service programs that's going to be available at this event have opened their hearts and their wallets and their resources to help our military men and women, get what they need, and we're looking forward to coming. Okay, so is there anything else we want to talk about before we wrap up? Because I'm just heartfelt because how you feel about the men and women. So is there anything else you want to say to us before we wrap up?
Just that I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 21st next week. And
Yes.
I think we're
Let
going
me
to have a
post
great
that flyer back up again so people will be ready to know, ladies and gentlemen, the 8th Annual Veterans Resource Fair on November 21st, 2024 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Crystal Gardens on 4th Street in Southgate. Now, I advise people to get there early because the turnout is so great, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna be walking if you don't have get a parking space. Okay.
we're gonna have James Perry, who's executive director of the Downriver Community Conference. Also, he's the co-host, and I've worked with him a lot. He's always helping veterans. The Downriver Community Conference has a veterans division that they focus on veterans. So we're looking forward to that them be coming out there, and Jim Perry is a great advocate for veterans as well. So it's going to be a great time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sabree. So we're going to sign off, but can you hold for me for a moment?
Sure.
And I'm going to close the show, and I'll be right back. So thank you. See you next week. Hold on.
If you store your guns properly,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
And I won't have to tell my kids, this isn't a drill.
Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Always lock it up.
This isn't a workout video. It's about how LLS has helped blood cancer patients like me thrive, and how your donation can help countless others. Please give today at lls.org.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to run, but Mr. Sabree is always giving us a wealth of information and resources so you can use. So always keep in mind, you can, always email me, Marsha@JustAskTalkShow, or call me, 1-800-323-5336 if you got any questions. Now, keep in mind, you will see this show again, and those resources about that program that he has, retroactive claim process, you need to get involved and get on that. I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. And what do I always say? If you have a question about a person with a disability or just a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just Ask. I'm your host. See you next time.
Sorry about that phone.